What is up, everyone? We are back with another Final Fantasy VII Ever Crisis tips video. This is part 2 in my little tip video series. If you didn't watch the first one, you can go back and watch the first one. I kind of talk about some more of the early basic things. So now this moves on from that. You've been playing the game, you kind of got through some of the basic content, and you're ready to kind of start learning some more advanced things. So first thing we're going to be talking about is your stamina. Alright, so recently with the release of the 1.1 patch and the Sephiroth event, where they added in young Sephiroth, they changed how quickly we get stamina. We went from getting 1 stamina every 6 minutes to 1 every 2 minutes. So stamina fills up. Don't let it go to waste. Alright? Always kind of be running your stamina low. But here's the thing. Don't just run it on anything. Run it on the things you need. And in fact, there's actually a lot of this stuff that the very first time doesn't cost you any stamina to run it. So, you know, what you might want to do, maybe run one, then run it once or twice to kind of build your stamina down a little bit, then clear out the other ones that are going to be free, and then you can go back, and then as your stamina gets closer to being filled again, go back and do those. Remember, every time you level up, you max out your stamina. So you will get your max stamina in addition to whatever you already had. So run that out before you start doing the stuff that doesn't cost you anything again. But yeah, always do that. Don't let your stamina sit and waste potential time. Now, don't wake yourself up in the middle of the night just to run stamina, but or you know, don't get yourself in trouble at work or school or whatever. But yeah, just keep your stamina, run it low. Run it on things you need. Like, for example, I know that if I'm working on upgrading this one weapon, I need this, you know, these nano cubes for it. Alright, so I want to make sure that I have enough nano cubes. So I want to run the ones that'll do that. Alright, I need the pink nano cube specifically. So I definitely don't want to be running nano cube 1 because that's not going to get me one of the pink ones. Then it was a nano cube 2? Yeah. You know, if I need this guy, then the micro cube, make sure I'm running nano cube 3 where I have a chance at getting that. Don't run these 2, that's not worth it. If I'm needing, again, the micro cubes, I should not be running the genome pod. Because again, I'm focusing on what I need. Or I can plan ahead at least. Okay, I want to focus on maxing out my, you know, Murasame, so I know I need the genome pods. So start building those up. You know, I'm going to need the Electum, or I'm going to need the Steel. Focus on those. Well, you got to be able to level them up too. Do you have enough of your grindstones? You know, make sure you've got those. Then you can start focusing on things such as your power pieces and magic pieces, pieces in general. So these just are regular drops. Character experience. Aside from clearing them the first time to get the experience reward, I don't feel like this is worth it. Unless you just straight have stamina to spend and there are no items you need. You can get experience running the other dungeons, not as much, or in other ways, which I'll show in a little bit, that you don't need to focus on this. Like I said, unless you just have stamina to spare, you've got, you know, 99 stamina pots, stamina tonics sitting here, and you've got a bunch sitting in your gift as well. Yeah, okay, maybe go ahead and do some character experience ones, I guess, but honestly, those should be one of the last ones you do. Don't forget to run your daily quests, okay? And once you've unlocked them, your premium quests. Those reset each day. While we're on the topic of, I guess, spending your stamina, notice the little icons here. Occasionally, they run events. So this little icon right here, there's more character experience. This is specific to Sephiroth, Glenn, Matt, and Lucia. These 4 will gain extra experience over other characters right now. And there's some that have more item rewards. So for example, here in the synthesis quests, there are more item rewards from synthesis drops. Okay? So that's kind of the deal when it comes to stamina. Just try not to waste it, and use it, I guess, use it wisely. When you need to use it wisely. Okay, next thing we're going to go over Chocobo. Let's talk about the Chocobos. So when it comes to Chocobos, get to my little notepad here, alright. So first things first, there's a chest that will spawn daily somewhere in the area. Get it. Sometimes it has gil, sometimes it has Chocobo medals, sometimes it has other items. Make sure you get that thing daily. In your Chocobo stable, you're going to start off, or your expedition, sorry, you're going to start off with just one expedition available at the very beginning, okay? Honestly, one at the beginning is really kind of all you need. As you get enough medals to purchase another Chocobo, go to the exchange, go to the right place, and it's a Chocobo you need, then you can start worrying about buying more space here. Don't just buy out all three at the very beginning. What kind of Chocobos do you want to focus on at first? Well, you want grassland. So there's different little feet or icons here in the top left of each Chocobo that tells you the types. You want to focus on grassland at first. And you want to try to get yourself quickly to like an E or an E+. I don't recommend going D or higher yet, just because it's super expensive. Even E+ is 2,000, which I'm almost at. The higher the letter, so it goes all the way to S, by the way. Or does it go to S+? Let's find out. Chocobo stable. Well, it will go to S+. I think so. I think right now it stops at C, maybe C+. But the closer the letter gets to S+, well, to A, and then your S+, the better the stats it will have. So we can see that they have speed, stamina, intellect, and adaptability. The stats are hidden to you at first. So if I go back to that exchange, and I open up that Chocobo, it's not going to tell me what the stats and traits are. Okay? It is possible that an E Chocobo and a D Chocobo have very similar numbers. Or, you know, it may be that maybe the speed's amazing on the E Chocobo, but its intellect is super low, versus on this guy, the speed's really low and the intellect's really high, and those affect your traits. So it's not really worth right now, until you're able to get an abundance of these, honestly messing with anything above E, in my opinion. So let's talk about those traits real quick. So I said you got your stats here. The higher these numbers, the higher these will be. So gil rate up, how much gil you get from your expeditions, rare drop rate. Okay, when they're on their expeditions, you have different item drops. Okay, rare and exploration come from that rare drop rate. Everything else is just a common drop. So when that rare drop rate goes higher, you have a better chance of getting one of those rare or expedition items. So we can see here that this H Chocobo has a rare drop rate of 2.5. But if I go to the F Chocobo, it's 17.5. If I go to this E Chocobo, it's 10. But isn't E better than F? So you can see, though, there was a trade-off here. The experience rate, like, these are much lower than the F, but his experience rate is higher. So my character that's attached to it's going to be getting more experience with this Chocobo than he would with this one. Chocobo medal rate, how many Chocobo medals you get, how long it takes to get one item. Hour and 7 minutes, hour and 9 minutes. So this guy's a little bit faster. He can collect 14 items, while the F can only collect 11. You can rename the Chocobos if you want to, by the way. So this will give you all that. These stats affect these things. So we can see I have an E plus here. When in comparison, it's like you could see that, you know, even though he's an E plus, his stamina is actually less than this guy. The other stats are indeed higher, but that's something to keep in mind, okay? And again, what character you want to attach to him, whoever you want to level up, throw him on there. It's going to give him some passive experience. Let's just show you how that works. Because one of the characters I'm trying to level up right now is Sephiroth. He's already level 41, so I'm going to speed him up. Let's go ahead and collect all our items. See, we got a feather here from an F Chocobo. Got 3 rare items. By the way, the E Chocobo that's with Sephiroth didn't really get a whole heck of a lot in the realm of rare items. In fact, he didn't get any. And his rare is not too bad. 30%. We go to the F Chocobo. He's got that rare drop rate of 17.5, and he actually got more. Kind of interesting. And you can see the Chocobo medals and the gil that was gained. Alright, so let's back to Sephiroth here. We're going to go ahead and speed him through. Alright, so he's going to run through. It's going to collect all 14 items, these Chocobo boosters. Boom, so now with 14, we're going to go ahead and collect. Got us an exploration item that time. You can see he got 6,000 experience, 6,600 almost. That's great. It's all passive experience. He's getting that for free. And as they max out, switch them out. You do a case, so we got 2,000. I could come in here and I could get this I can get this E Chocobo. I don't know if I want another Grasslands Chocobo. I think I'm good. If he was a mountain, maybe. I'll get to the types in a moment. So we did get a mission for that. We got 2, 3. But claim those. We got blue crystals for that. So again, don't neglect Chocobos. But again, back to the expeditions. Guys, don't. I think it costs 2,000 to get these other 2. Don't spend the 2,000 if you don't have the Chocobos to fill it. Alright. As you get the Chocobos to fill it, sure, go ahead. Something else to consider when buying your Chocobos is when you do the expeditions, they require different types. So if I do Midgar 1 all the way to Grasslands 2, all those Chocobos are Grassland Chocobos. They have to have this symbol to run it. If you're going to do Wutai 1 or Wutai 2, they have to have the mountain. Now I've just unlocked the Rador Archipelago. You have to have the river Chocobo to do this. And we do have a river Chocobo. We're going to actually switch over Sephiroth here, I think. So he's on the E mountain. Light green. So he's on this one. So let's compare something real quick. So experience rate 50, 135. Gets 11 items though. His rare drops a lot lower. So I might switch one of my other Chocobo riders to that one. But as we can see, by the way, I do have that one river, and I had that in preparation for unlocking the next area. You have to have 75% explored. But we can see eventually there's also going to be an ocean Chocobo as well. We don't have that exploration ready yet. Let's switch Sephiroth over. So we're going to have him explore this one. And we can also see what items are potential here. This wouldn't be a bad one in the sense that there's only 2 rare items in a sea of this many items. These can only be gained once, by the way, the exploration items. So 2 rare out of 8. So there's basically a 1 out of 4 chance of getting a rare item. That's not too bad. Same here. Same I just did. No, it just looks like it. So yeah, these aren't too bad. So 1 out of 4 chance. This gives me a bookmark, which can be used to shorten synthesis time. Obviously, the Chocobo booster is not a bad one. Same thing there. This one might be the one I consider, though, because you do get a synthesis piece. So we're going to go ahead and put him here. You can see all these other ones that are available. Has to have the river marking. Keep it with Sephiroth. Depart. So keep in mind, we got what, 6,600 I think experience? Do I have enough to shorten this? I do. Let's just see what he gets. So we're going from 6,600 to... got 8,500. And we can see all the different things he collected. Awesome. So that's how that works, okay? So that's Chocobos. We got some more things collected here. Some more Chocobo medals. Alright. So that is your Chocobos. Like I said, just unlock the Chocobos as you need them. Don't just dump into them immediately. Okay, the next topic we're going to look at will be the weapon enhancement screen. Okay, so what in the world does all of this mean? You know, what should I upgrade? Okay, guys, if I'm focusing on Cloud and, you know, I'm working on like, you know, trying to get towards very hard Ifrit, I want to find weapons for Cloud, especially for his main. So, by the way, we can sort by character. Just keep in mind, the main and the secondary have to be specific to that character. Alright, so these are all my Cloud weapons. So I want to look for things that are going to be very beneficial stat-wise. In the case, the Murasame, because I've got it to a 5 red star, has very high stats, okay? It's going to boost his physical attack, which is fine. Boost lightning potency doesn't mean squat for Ifrit. But I want to kind of start looking at that kind of stuff, all right? And I'll explain what all those mean in a moment. But I'm going to, you know, what items do I need? Those are what I'm going to upgrade first. You know, you'll notice that I haven't touched the organics yet. Why? Haven't had a need to. You know, keep making the weapons you're currently using stronger, or the ones you're getting ready to use stronger. That's what you should focusing on upgrade, okay? What will upgrading stuff do? Well, so if I go to this Buster Sword, for example, right now it's currently 70 out of 70. If I wanted to enhance it, I can see this is what I'm going to need to enhance it up and make it go up to a potential level 80. So what happens when I do this? Well, I can see here that the boost HP is going to increase. So originally it was at 11. If I were to now boost that, it's going to go up to 17. We'll talk about what that means in a little bit. So that's going to affect that. If I were to pick the Shiva Blade, I can see that by upping it to level 30, I'm going to unlock this S ability of damage boost for attack. It's going to boost ability damage if I have a physical or magic attack item materia in that slot. Now keep in mind, these only work if this is your main item. So, you know, when you're looking at upgrading an item as well, you know, I think I want to upgrade this one, okay, because it's going to boost my HP. Alright, well, I got to be unlocked. I do this all the way up to level 60 to unlock the boost HP. Okay, boosting fire resistance, it doesn't tell you when it's going to do that. It does it every so often. Again, when you see it highlight in green, that means you know it's going to change. Your C ability could also be upgraded. Obviously, your stats would get upgraded or have the potential to be upgraded when you can break your level cap. So again, you know, that's something else to think about when you're upgrading your items. Is the next thing worth it? You know, if I go to do this one, I'm not using Cloud to do magic attacks, so really this doesn't affect me that much. I mean, I could boost it further still to get one of these to raise, and that'll help, but this one doesn't help me at this point in time. So that's why I've stopped that one there. We do have the armory. If you have not turned on the auto convert and you've done pulls, this is where the extra items go. So technically I have 2 defenders, elite. You know, I have 2 defenders, I have 2 grand gloves, I have 2 enhanced swords. These are worthless right now. So let's go back to, this is Zach's sword here. So let's filter Zach real quick. So that was his defender. We can see, I actually have one at level 70. All right, this one is absolutely sitting here doing nothing. So I'm gonna convert these. All right, converting them to claim weapon parts. Weapon parts can then be used as part of the upgrades, by the way. Okay, when you are overboosting. So if we were to go back to that defender sword. Come on. And I were to enhance it, there is a rarity. So I can't overboost yet. I gotta get it to a 5-star first. I need 200 of either the defender parts or Zach specific weapon parts to do that. And then it would turn into a 5-star, and we can see all 3 of these would be affected if that happens. Once you've got it to at least a 5-star, you could then start what's called overboosting. So rarity, overboost, same deal, 200, and it will increase the stats to do that. You get your biggest increases when you get your stars all the way across. You get little ones at each star, but once you got all stars filled and you go to what would be the next star, that's when you see your biggest changes across multiple things. Finally, there is an exchange thing down here. All right. This to me is 100% not worth it. This trades 1-to-1, 1 part for 1 weapon ticket, I think is what it's called, or weapon token. Now, what can you use these weapon tokens for? Well, if you go to the shop or the exchange, there is a here our weapon exchange. That's not where it's at, by the way. You'd think that's where you go, right? Because you got weapon. No. You go to Enhancement exchange and down here to weapon metals, and you can trade 100 of these in for 15 grindstone chunks. These are easy enough to get. You should not be turning weapon parts into this unless you've got a weapon completely maxed out. You cannot overboost it any further than, okay, start turning them into this. But for right now, unless you've got any weapons like that, don't do this. Alright? Save those weapon parts to increase the weapon's color. I think you can get up to pink +1. I don't know if I've seen pink +1 before. Right? So overboost. I don't know if you can keep overboosting past that. You know, +1, +2, +3. I do see that none of these get affected. It's just the stats at that point. And even then, 304 to overboost would take it to 306. That's a gain of 2. I don't think that's worth it. So, like I said, unless you've got a weapon maxed, ignore the exchange. All right, that's going to be a waste of weapon parts. Don't. Just do not. Use those specifically for your weapon boosts. All right, final thing we're going to talk about this video, because this video is getting long, is the party screen. I guess this is kind of the next big thing to really know. So you have co-op party, solo party. They function the same way. Co-op, you just get one character to work with. Solo, 3. All right, so you can choose your characters. You have multiple party slots to choose from. We have up to 20 right now. Okay. Choose what characters you want in there. Do not use the recommended party, or when you're in a specific character, do not use best equip. Guys, these are not coded correctly right now, and it doesn't take into account a lot of different factors. All right, so don't use this. So how do you know what to use? Well, again, depends on what content you're doing. If I'm going after, very hard Ifrit, go to that content. It'll tell you specifically what you need. So let's get there. So if I was doing very hard Ifrit, I see that I need Blizzard, I need the cross sigil, and then just attacks, alright? So I want to make sure that I'm kitted up for that. So if I were to go, I do have a kit for that already. It's this one right here. Ignore the name up here. I'll explain how to do that, and I've even got the wrong name up here. So I can make sure I'm geared out for that, alright? So don't. Let's talk about naming the party. So how do you name your party? Well, you're going to click here. It's kind of weird. You wouldn't think it'd be here, but you click on swap mode, and now you'll see that there is a little pencil icon up here. I can now come up here and change this to whatever I want. So this is my fire party. I'm going to put cross. Now keep in mind you max at 12 characters, so it's gonna in there. So maybe I might even change this from Fire Party X to Fire X Sigil. Okay. So to me, now I know that this is a fire party, so it's going to be used against fire monsters. And it specifically is already set up with X sigils, or cross sigils. Alright, I could do that for each one of these. Let's say you want to keep this and you want to have a fire party that has a circle sigil. Well, while we're still in this swap mode, by the way, come over here, hit copy. It has now copied everything about this party. I can come down to a blank one, hit paste, switch those out, out for circle sigils, and rename accordingly. It's that simple. That's a really neat thing. Okay, next thing I want to talk about in the party screen. Alright, so Sephiroth here. I got him his new outfit. It looks like garbage in my opinion. I hate the look of it, but I want the stats. See how there's a battle on a skin right here? So we're going to go over to skin, and I'm going to click on that. So now he's going to have, you'll see there's a special icon here now. If I were to switch over to Cloud, his doesn't have that little icon up there. That's because he's wearing this outfit, but it's shown as this outfit. So we can see that here. Like I said, I don't like the look of that outfit, and some people might want to do that. Like, for example, let's see, Lucia here. She's got this outfit on. Maybe you actually want the stats from this one. You can put her in this as her battle and have this be her look. So it gives you the stats you want with the look of that you want. Alright, that's a really kind of cool thing to do. Limit breaks, all that kind of fun stuff. So that's all selected from here. Alright, you click up here, you can select your limit break. We'll talk about unlocking the limit breaks in the stat streams later. But your limit break options will be here, as well as any summons you have unlocked. Alright, and again, I'm going to talk more about summons in a later video as well. Keep in mind, these are both the same summon. We've got Radiant Plume and Hellfire. You cannot put Hellfire on one character and Radiant Plume on another, alright, because it's the same summon. But that will take the place of your limit break. So that is something to keep in mind. Let's look back at the weapons. Alright, so how do I know which weapon I want where? Whichever weapon is in the main slot. Your main weapon is going to get 100% of the stats of that weapon. Alright, so typically you want this to be your highest stat weapon. I don't have that set up here right now. That's just because I haven't set up Lucia properly. It also will get whatever the C ability is. You'll get to use that. And you will get 100% of the R abilities you've unlocked. It also will function your support materia. Alright, so these now get unlocked. Well, once you've upgraded the weapon enough to unlock them. So once I've got the weapon max level 30, this one unlocks. If I have a materia that's a physical or magical attack, it's going to get a 10% ability damage boost on it. Once I get the weapon to level 50, I put a physical attack materia in there. It's going to get a 20% physical ability damage boost. Same thing down here for this slot. Certain ones do different things. This one, for example, has a buff debuff extension. This one just raises magic attack. This one has an ice boost, an attack boost, and physical attack boost. All right. So but whatever one is your main one will get all of the materia choices there and gets 100% of the stats. Whichever one you put as your second weapon, all right, it's going to get 50% of these stats. It's also going to get 50% of the R ability stats. You do still get the C ability though. That doesn't change. That is one of your potential abilities you can use. You lose the support materia abilities though. So again, 50% of these numbers are added in over here. These can only be weapons of that character. Alright, so I can only pick Lucia specific weapons for either of those two options. Now we do have sub-equipment. When it comes to your sub-equipment, these are any weapons for any character. Okay? And when it comes to these, you also get 50% of the stats and 50% of the R abilities. The C ability you do not get, the support materia you do not get. Now, why is this important? Well, the R abilities, we come over here, we can see how much we're getting from each one, okay? And we can see how that does the overall effect. Does it make more sense to have this weapon, especially if it's a Lucia weapon, in my sub-equipment? Does it make it more sense to have it here versus here? Does that make sense? Because again, keep in mind, these are getting 50%. And then I can look and see, okay, I'm getting right now, I'm getting 0% or 0 points from ice potential here. Even though, if I go to that, because I haven't unlocked it yet. Now, physical attack, keep in mind, this is giving me 20, right? But I go into here, I can see it's only giving me 10. Why? Because that secondary weapon is also only giving you 50%. And this guy's giving 16. Rounds down to, half, so 8. I need 7 more points to bump me up to the next level. Alright, I can see right now I'm currently sitting at 18 points. right? 18 points gets me the level 3 break, which is plus 60 physical attack and a 15%. Okay? So it's a straight plus 60 and 15%. And you can see that for each individual thing here. So you can kind of look and see, does it make more sense to have the item here or here, especially when it comes to your main and your subs. Okay, now what happens if, for example, here, this is giving me ice resistance. It gives me a 15 ice resistance, so half of 15 is 7.5. Something I don't agree with, by the way. It rounds down. I think it should round up. I think 7.5 should round up to 8, but it doesn't. It rounds down, so I'm actually only getting 7 from that. Now, would that make a difference at this point? No. 7 or 8, I'm still only at the level 2 break. So that really kind of talks about the party setup. Again, don't use recommended party, don't use best equipment. Fill it out for what you need. Again, look down here. This will tell you, do you at least, by the way, this only tells you if you meet it with at least one character. So if she had an ice attack, if Lucy is the only one that had an ice attack, and these two both are sitting here with fire attacks, it's going to tell me that I have an ice attack, because I do. You know, if Sephiroth's the only one that has the cross sigil, and these two have circle and triangle, it's going to tell me I've met that. So just be careful that you kind of look and make sure each character has the things you need. Again, swap mode is how you can change that. It also lets you flip which characters where. Go back to that again, try that again. So swap mode will let me flip those, you know, lets you flip side-by-side characters. Toggle gives you kind of a quick overview of what's on each character, and then you can go further and see what each thing does. This is great to double check with this right here, by the way. And you can go further and see, okay, this is giving me 4 to health. Right now it's giving me 0 to water. But it's kind of a great way to check those things. I recommend having at least that on to kind of see some things. Power numbers, honestly, guys, don't mean a whole heck of a lot. Because you can see by the, so this is the party that I used to clear the very hard Ifrit. My power is 108, recommended power level is 178, so I cleared it 70,000 lower than what it was recommended. Do you have the right materia? Do you have the right items? That's kind of the big thing. Some do require you to have a minimum power level to enter it, usually your solo stuff. But yeah, this, honestly, you can get away with, like I said, pretty well, as long as you're kitted up correctly. That's the bigger part right there. You got to be kitted up correctly. Alright, well, long video is long, guys, but hopefully, again, I've touched on some things that will help you out. Some more, a little bit, I guess, slightly advanced tips from the first video. And again, if what I gave you helped you out, and you're not currently subscribed, hit the subscribe button, alright? You know, leave a like, leave a comment if some of the information helped you out, if there's something you didn't know. If there was something I missed, drop it down in the comments. Again, the likes, the comments, the subscribes, these help push the videos out into the algorithm, guys. And it helps more people to find this stuff. So looking at what notes I have left for things I still want to talk about, there's at least one more video, maybe a fourth, but for sure just one. So be on the lookout for that one. Thanks for watching, guys. If you like what you saw, if you'd like to drop that like, comment, or subscribe if you're not already, that'd be absolutely amazing. Thanks again, and we'll see you in the next one.